Hi, welcome back to a new part of our tutorial to build a spaceship. Today we make such little things. Um, then we'll see how far we come today. So we start with that thing here. I make a screencast keys on. Then we get that one. So we can add mesh sphere, scale down, top view, delete the background. Of course, we don't need them with background selection. Then we have that front here that we should bring to size that can fit with that. That is such like that. And we make it in this direction because we can rotate it like we want later. So we get the first word here. Then with proportional editing connected, grabbing, roll the middle mouse button to get the influence area, how much we want to influence by it, and that is okay for that thing. You can scale it now in set or like you would to get it more like the reference, and you can give them here a tool smooth. Then we have that here. Good. So we go to the next one. This one here is a mystery thing. I don't know what it is, but I know how it looks. That is a quad going down into the material. So we build that, and we build that here on this place because I want to find them later again. So add mesh cube, scale down to the bottom size, then we scale it in the set. Good. We bring a little bit to the Y in front so we can see it completely. Then we go edit mode, get the top face without proportional and without background. Then extrude scale, we can now go in here. Then we extrude down one time, extrude scale again, a little space between, and extrude it out. That is what we need, and we need it at the top too, so we can use a modifier for that. You know which one? The mirror modifier. You're right. So we place here a 3D cursor, and now we can say this origin should be on this 3D cursor. So how we make that? We have here under tools, we can set the origin to the 3D cursor, and then the origin is there. So he used that as the middle point for the mirror. So we add modifier, mirror modifier, and say not in the X, we want to have it in the set. You see it makes it to the top. We make clipping on that it clips together, and then we can go in edit mode, mark all, and push it together, and it will smell together. So we have that here. That is this thing there. Good. We done that. Next one. We have that here. Simple one. So we add mesh cube, scale down, and we see it is a little bit longer and a little bit higher. So we scale in the X and we scale in the Z. Scale Z. So we got that. Then we look, it is all in all too fat. So I scale in the Y. Then we need to go here down. So we need a loop in. So we take that here, and then we can, with X selection, get this down here. Then we got that, and that is our thing here. But I want to make it a little bit brighter to the down part there. So at first we can here dissolve them, or with X delete that edge. We don't need that. And we can now scale that whole thing so we get a little bit better effect there. Um, Normally you can make here some more edge on them when you say you take that here and give them bevel or something there for the fine detailed. I don't know, we need that. I would say no, but we can make it here. So we get that whole thing and then Control B, move the mouse, and we have that little effect there. Good. We can make it on the other side too. So bring them to front that we can see through it. Then we get the other side and Control B, move the mouse, done. Good. We need it on both sides, and in the middle is a red cylinder. So the first that I want to make is background selection, red selection. Go here, make it horizontal, vertical, and now bring in here a cylinder. So add cylinder 32 is too much for that little thing. So I think 24 is okay, 12 is okay too. I think we can make 17. 17, okay. We scale down. We rotate in the Y 90 degrees. Bring them into the other material. Get the back side of that. Bring it to here. And now we can use a mirror modifier as fine as before for the other one. So I bring it to position with L. I can select that thing and bring it to the other one. Jump to it, plug it into, go to the middle point here, and that is fine. Good. That whole thing should be mirrored. We said before. Before we do that, we have a smooth on that. When we get here a smooth, here is shading UVs, smooth faces. We need then 2 loops more because of the shading errors I told you in much tutorials before. You know that. Okay. Now we have to make the same as before. The origin is the marker for the mirror, so it must be in the middle. So we click here, left click with the mouse. So we have here the 3D cursor, and we want to bring the origin to the 3D cursor as reference point for our model. So we go to set origin under tools, geometry to 3D cursor. You see what happens. Now we use here our mirror modifier, and you see we have them. Make clipping on. It's important that it clips together as one, and then we move it into, and it merges in the middle. So we have done that. We needed much times all over the ship. That is done. Good. Now we have this thing here. So for that, we need add curve circle, rotate x 90 degrees. Let's try it again. Rotate x 90. So then we scale down, jump 2. And at first I want to make this round stuff there. So because of that, I make the circle as great as this roundness there can be. And then give them here under that curve fill should be full, and we have 12 segments in there. And now we can take here the resolution and the depth. So when we make the depth as that, we want to have that here. So that is okay, but we need a higher resolution because that here, when you put it in front, you see there's a sharp one, and we don't want to have that. So we take the resolution higher, and then we have something around there. Good. It don't must be too round because that is a little thing. So okay, that's okay. Shift D will make a copy. Then with Alt C we can convert that to a mesh. Then we have that. Now we can delete what we don't need and take here all the right stuff, X, words, and the down part, X, words, and it is done. Then we get this down loop and extrude them down, and get this loop and extrude them to something like the middle. Same as before, we want to use modifier mirror, so we need the middle, that is the middle. Set origin to 3D cursor, take the modifier on it, you see what happens, clipping on, A to select all, bring it together, it merge. Thanks a lot. That was one. We will make there later an instance from that because we need them 1,000 times and we don't need to have all in original, so we only take an instance of that object. Good. Next one. Add mesh cube. So make that create plate here. So scale X and bring it in the Y. Scale in the Y with a small thing. And this should be really not bended later, not shrinked or something else. We'll let it like that is. So we have only to round up the edges and the other stuff there. Yeah. For round up these edges, we make here two loops in scale Y to get the range for make the round. So another one on this set position here, and then we get that. Then we can take here each of these edges with shift, hold it, you can mark them all together. Then with Control B, we bevel them, move the mouse, roll the middle mouse button to give them the roundness. That is all. We have that. Good. Yeah. So we can give them a smooth here on the places where it is round. So we can mark that all and let these things here out. And the rest should be not flat, it should be smoothed. See what happens, we get the shading errors. For that we need to loop on both sides, and the shading error is in the small part between, and nobody sees that. Good. We have that one. We need another one in this direction, so we can make a copy of that. Shift D. Scale it a little in the hole. Then background selection, bird selection, mark that, put it together, and we got that thing. The origin is now beside the object, so we set the geometry, the origin to the geometry. So that is the point. Bring it in front, that we are on our object. Good. We see on here it has two screws here. So we add mesh a cylinder, but with 6 verts. That looks like a screw then, a screw head, better say. Um, Scale in the set. Scale it down to the size that we need. We want to make 2 on this face here, on this object here. So bring it down. We rotate X 90 degrees and bring it onto our object. Yes, a little bit to the side, a little bit out, a little bit down. Good. Make it a little bit smaller, all in all. Then Shift D to duplicate them and bring it to the other side too. So we have both screws on it. We can get that here. You see the origin is another way, so we make the same origin to geometry. But when we do that, we get that problem because that isn't applied here. So we apply our mirror modifier. Now we do that to the origin, and then we have that. So we now rotate that in the X90, then in the Y90, and then we put it onto our object here, bring it down to, shift, bring it near on, and into, radius into, okay. So with Shift D, we copy that and bring it to the other side too. So we got that. This is an example for this. So we move that to the second layer. We don't need it on the first layer here. So that's okay. Now we make that one here. So we add mesh circle. We take 24. We rotate X 90 degrees. Scale down to that size. Now we go in edit mode. Extrude it to the Y. Scale it a little bit down. Extrude scale again. Extrude and put it to the Y to the inside. Scale a little. Then extrude scale again to the middle point. Then the same as we did here. Extrude, bring it to the Y. Scale a little down. Extrude scale. And that should be enough for that. We can smooth that completely. And then we make here a sphere in it. So we take that point here and say add a sphere. It can be a 24 one. We can scale them down. Go to top view. Delete the back. So we take that here. Delete that. We have that. Important is we want to make it like in a film. I see that it is the eye from the computer in this film. In this case, it is this thing, but I want to have a smooth on there, and it must have the thickness for getting the look like a glass or something else that we look through. So for that, we have this modifier called solidify, and with them you can say the thickness of the material. Um, so we separate it for the first time. So with P, we can separate selection. Now it is a single mesh. we can put the origin to the geometry. I bring it more to the side that we can look through. And now we take that modifier and when we play here with the thickness, you see we can make it thicker or not. We will have thickness, so I think that value is okay. I apply them and then you see we have a real one, real object, and that is what we want to have for class material that looks right and bring the right reflections and the rest. So bring it to the other stuff there, put it in. We can scale a little that it fits better there. And then another one I want to build down under it should be a lighted LED. So we plug in here add mesh UV sphere 2. 24 is okay. Scale that down. Make it that one is a good size, I think. So top view, make the same as before. Delete the back. So now we can, that becomes later material, an emitting material, so that we can see the emission in the front glass. So we bring it into, so we got that. Good. Back to material mode. So now we mark them all together and oh, we must be careful with this solidifier. This is on this one. Here we don't need them, so we can delete that. And we have to do it with set this bowl, and that one joined together as one. And we have that. Good. We place it on our model here. Bring it in front of it. Not too close to the other. So we have a natural look here. Good. Now we get here all this stuff and join them together as one. Bring the origin to the middle to the geometry. Now we have here one object, and this comes also often on our model, so we will later take an instance of that like I told you before. Good. We have this parts done. File save as, give another number. So when you make shit, you have the version before and nothing's happened really bad. Good. Then that here we want to cut in later into this plane here. So we build that to get a later cut into. So that means we add here mesh circle, rotate x 90, scale down. Okay. Then the half we don't need, so we mark that, delete that. Then that is not as round as that one, so we mark all and scale in the X, so we get that one. Then we Shift D and make a duplicate of them. Then we rotate Z 180 degrees to get them more in this. Then we connect this F types, and we got that, and that is what we want. It's only for cutting in later. The rest we build then when the hole is in this object. So it's important that we don't forget that. So I give them here name, that is cutting shape 1. Good. So then we have this mystery thing there. So we put in there add mesh cube, scale down to that side maybe, then scale in the Y a little, then we go edit mode by hitting tab, mark the front face, disable background selection, extrude scale to get here little space between, extrude to the Y. We go into the material, that's good. You see in there is a ring, so we want to get them too. So we go here and place a circle, curve circle, rotate X90, scale down, that it fits within. Then we have here the values for that. We want to have a full one. We want to have depth in so that we get this ring in the thickness like there. We can scale it a little, okay, and give them resolution of maybe 1 is enough. We can look from top. You see, that isn't real good, but we don't need it in better. So we Alt C, we convert it as a mesh, and then we delete the back. So mark that and delete that. So we only have that, and that is enough to put it on that. All in all, that is too fat, I think, so we can scale that to the Y, then bring it onto, then both should be together. So mark both and join them. Good. So we have that. That is this one. Good. Grabbing, positioning. Okay. So then we see we have here like a sharp, that shark, the white shark. This panel there. So we add mesh cube. This must be the down part must be banded later to get on the real basic model. For that, it must be have a good detailed topology. So because of that, we must make much loops in. So scale in the set. Good. We want to have here a middle part where that comes in. So we give here 2 loops. Then we get the middle face there and extrude scale them. Scale it in the Y a little. Then extrude go down. Extrude scale again. Scale in the X a little. And scale in the Y a little. And then extrude it out. And that should be some high one. So such like that. And then it is a little bit leaning. So we get here this edge there and bring it to leaning factor. Good. I told you before we need here much more loops to get this bending later. So we make in here loops and then all is fine. Good. That is done too. Grab it, bring it to position. Good. Um, Next heavy one are these ones that hoods there. When you look at this here, you will see it is a curve, but when you look then from down, you see after the curve it comes straight and then straight again like a panzer material or something else, yeah, like a knight. Yeah, okay. So we have to do that. For such things, we only can take uh, one thing that do that. That is the curve modifier. So we rotate our picture to Y. That we get here our stuff better. Rotate. Okay. Now we need to go to this point completely with this bending. So we add curve, Bezier curve. We rotate X 90 degrees, so it is in front. Then we scale down. And then we grab it and go edit mode. Position the middle point to the end. This one to maybe that point where it starts to bend around. Then we take that one here to get this float to the line up to the sample. And we see it follows good. So we get here middle point. Then we extrude that to the other path there. Get here this one and grab it, and we can bend it like here. And we see that is too rough stuff. So we have to do it in two parts. Get here in the middle, and we make the first part here, and you must look that it flows good. That is the important thing there. Then we extrude again to that point, and by grabbing we control that. So then we go here, extrude again to the rest, and from there we can, after convert as a mesh, make the straight lines there. So that is our line that we have, and we see that isn't real nice. So we go here and make it a little bit more smooth variation of that. Can go here a little bit more, so it has more float then. That is good float. So with Shift D, we'll make a copy of that. Then with Alt C, we convert it as a mesh. Now we have that. And now we want to have this down part I told you before. That was here. So we go straight down and then nearly horizontal with the other one. That means we go in our model, we take this selection here, extrude it to a down part, and then extrude it to the side. That is our base model to do that. We close that whole thing because later we must cut in here to get these vents in. That will be later the heavy stuff of that. And we need an outline for that. So we can take this whole thing and have here the possibility to press I for the inset faces, and we must take here in this line, we can over the timeline there are, you can pull on some options or disable them, and so we have to do that it fits with the rest. So I mark all, we do it without that. Okay, extrude scale. Bring it more to the side. Scale in the X. So we got that. This one we can handle easily by hand. Good. That is that one. We want to have a little round effect there, and this one isn't real the same thickness there, so we can handle here that with proportional editing, grabbing, get the influence, and place it very chippy. Good. Then we take here a middle loop in and get them out to the Y, but without proportional. So we got that thickness effect there, and with Control B, we can give them a bevel too. That was a little bit too much. Then we have that look that we want to have for that. This one should be now like here in cascades, going one over the other. Before we do that, surely we must cut in there. So we have here the inner line and extrude them to the Y. So we have the depth of that. And then we close that with F. So we have that thing here. We need the outer line too. So we get the outline and extrude it to the back too. So we get that thing here. We take a smooth on it. You see what happens, the shading arrows. We need here at this face of flat surely. So we go here to flat, and this faces only need to be flat 2, and this inner faces logical 2 only need to be flat. Good. Then we see the other arrows comes logical by the shading arrows, so we put in here 2 loops. Then we can bring them out. This one here we can heal by doing here 1, and this one here needs 2 other. Good. We can sharpen that later by the remesh modifier or something else. That isn't the point at the moment. We have done this first one. We only need here 1. That is cut it out. So we can Shift D, make copy, and need it for the cascades there. So because of that, we go near to, that can be that one. That I think is good. And bring it onto. That is in this other stuff, but we don't see the other rest, so that is no problem to do it like that. Then we make Shift D a copy of that, scale down, and bring it onto, and out. So we get that cascade style, and it should be near on. Okay, so we push it to a position that is near to. Good. Shift D, scale down, grabbing, positioning, and bring out. How many that are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 3 here, so 2 to go. Extrude scale. Oh, that's wrong. Shift D, scale, grabbing, positioning, and once again, Shift D, scale down, positioning, and we have to bring them out. So we take these 3 guys here, bring them out, then this inner 2 guys, and the last one, bring them out. Oh, that was the other one. Okay, so we got that. That is our start for that. That isn't the last one that we did from that. That will give us this point that we need. We can scale it later in each direction. That's not a problem. So we'll make Shift D, copy of that. So when we make some shit with that, we have another one. So file, save. So we did enough for today. See you then on the next part of our tutorial. Hope you learned some. And so I say bye. See you on the next tutorial part. Thanks a lot. Bye.